Hi, my name is Jane. I'm an occupational therapist with a private practice. I work as a mobile therapist, so I go into my clients' homes. So I see clients under Medicare Part B, which is outpatient Medicare. And when I was first getting started, it was a little bit difficult to figure out what the intake process looked like. So today I'm going to walk you through the process of what you do for intake when it's a Medicare Part B patient or a private pay patient. I like to use Google Forms to have my intake process done, so that it goes into this Google spreadsheet that I use for my electronic medical record. Some patients don't use the website form, so I just give them a call and ask them the questions on the phone. One of the most important questions that I need to ask during the intake is if they have Medicare. If they do have Medicare, I'm not going to get into that today, but there is other information that I would need to know as well. For example, their policy number. So this is where things get slightly more complicated. If I do find out that someone has Medicare, I then have to figure out, is seeing me medically necessary? Again, I'm not going to get too much into the details of that today, but that is the next question I need to know. If the person has Medicare Part B and the services are deemed medically necessary, then what I would need to do is verify their coverage, which I could do by calling, or I can check my MAC portal to find out what their coverage is. I would also need to make sure that they're not seeing anyone under Medicare Part A. It's not necessary to get their signature for me, but because it is Medicare Part B, I know that I'll have to have the physician sign off on my plan of care once the evaluation's over. So having that contact with the physician up front I have found to be very useful. If the person has Medicare, but the services are not deemed medically necessary, I would need to send something called an advance beneficiary notice. They need to see this so that they know that Medicare will not be covering the services that I'm providing. If they do not have Medicare, then I need to issue them something called a good faith estimate, which comes from the No Surprises Act. Okay, so once this is all done, I like to put it all into my documentation and let the client know that I'm ready to see them. And we set up an appointment and I check and see what assessments might be most appropriate for the client before I go. And that's it. That's an overview of what the intake process looks like when it's a Medicare Part B client versus a private pay client. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below.